Our excellent adventure begins. Tell me a story.
My name is Michael.
My name's Anthony.
It's like about a half an inch longer. You still gotta get those kegs.
Come at me, you old bitch.
Eat this damn city.
Shut up, everybody.
Like, both ways sound wrong to me now.
Yeah, the Caribbean. Because, like, that's how they say it in the movie, is the Caribbean, but it is the Caribbean.
Right.
It's kind of like where teachers, for like a period of time, started calling it Uranus instead of Uranus,
Yeah.
which in a way is worse.
Right.
But it was just to combat kids calling it your anus.
Yeah, and that's never gonna go away. So just accept that that's here to stay.
But do you think Uranus is any better?
No,
Because it's like
if anything,
peeing.
Uranus is worse. Yeah,
It's
dude,
worse. It's
I'll
worse.
take your anus over
Over Uranus. You're an ass.
You're an ass.
It's
So
the
much
planet
worse.
Uranus. What? That's right there.
It's right
Why
there.
didn't people do that?
So easy. So easy to make teachers just knock it off.
Well, good evening and welcome everybody to M&A's
M&A's
Excellent Adventure, where my name is Anthony
And my name's Michael.
and we are going to tell you a story, but Michael's hosting, so I'll let him take it away. I just jumped the gun on that.
I was like,
I forgot who
think
was
I'm
hosting.
That's okay. Yes, like Anthony said, welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you. Before we jump in, I'd like to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Adam and Eve, adamandeve.com, where a little
Not
bit
a
of
sponsor.
goes a long way.
A little bit.
Speaking of
I wish we had a sponsor. I don't know if I could talk about it, but Michael absolutely will.
I would love to be sponsored by adamandeve.com because I genuinely suggest them to everybody.
You are, if anything, we sponsor them based on how much you talk about them.
Honestly, yeah. Also, speaking of kind of that area of things, I was just led on to a little secret, a little insider knowledge that
not even
I
a
don't think
secret.
people know about. It's kind of on the down low key. No one really knows. A little guy named Jeffrey Toobin was kind of Jeffing his tubin on a Zoom call.
That happened over 2 years ago. That was like,
and I just heard about it like 10 minutes before we started recording.
That was like 2021. But yes, Jeffrey Toobin, if you've never heard of him, was caught whacking it during a CNN meeting because he was a reporter. And he actually got rehired, believe it or not. And the best part about his rehirement is they have the most uncomfortable on-air interview with him before they talk about war and gun violence. Yeah. And it by far is one of my favorites.
Violent with his gun. So maybe
coming out here, guns ablazing.
The best course of action.
It was the lack of intercourse of action, if you think about it.
Nice. Well, he was.
Boom! We're on fire.
In his action. Nice, dude.
So yeah, the best part about this, we could totally clip this or something, right, Michael? But like, the best part about this whole interview is the co-anchor that he's with is just starting to talk about whatever, and then she goes, but before we do that, I feel like, just in case our viewers don't know the reason for your absence, Jeffrey, why don't you take it away? Tell them what we're doing or what happened. Where have you been? And it seems so like vice principal-y of the lady, but she's just like, so, you won't? Okay. And then she tells everybody watching on CNN you were masturbating on a Zoom call. Is that correct? And he just sits there like, yep, unfortunately that is accurate. And in my defense, even though there's no defense, I thought my webcam was off.
Anthony made a good point of, What position was he in?
Yeah, if you're like
For
going
them
to
to
town
know.
like this, it's whatever, right?
I
But like
do it every other episode I'm
I
jacking it.
absolutely. Yeah. But was it offensive enough? Like was he like making faces?
He
Was
has
he
to be
being
a
loud?
very expressive
Was he
masturbator.
standing up here? And even so, I'm on my tippy toes
Leg
right
up.
now.
He was Captain Morganing it.
He was
The
Captain
one leg up.
Morgan. Do you think that people in the on the call when they saw him just saw a big bottle of lotion chilling right there and they put two and two together if he was sitting like this? And also, how do you not know your webcam is on? Like you have the preview beforehand. Like you
I
see
think
the
he
problem
knew.
here, right?
I think he knew, and he was like, "Let's see how this plays out, because maybe
Maybe
it'll
if I
work. Maybe
go
they're into
fast
it."
enough. I like the idea that there were people who were on the call who turned their camera off, looked down at their phone, looked up 30 seconds later and went, "Oh my God." Like I think that must have been what happened.
What if he was accidentally muted himself, and he thought he was talking, and he said, "Hey, this meeting sucks. Let's all just jack it." And then
You,
he didn't say that, but then he just figured, well, I'll get started. And then he
you
was
know,
like, what the hell? I thought we were all.
I thought we were all on board. Nobody said no. So I thought we
maybe
were
that
all
was it. Maybe he thought everyone was ready to go.
What I thought you were gonna say maybe he muted himself thinking he turned his camera off. In which case,
Oh.
even if that was the case, can you imagine if he was unmuted but his camera was off and they just heard all of the sounds and filling in the blank? There are so
A bunch
many
of
ways this could have gone down.
huffing and puffing.
um yeah, so that's our conversation.
So
Any
Anthony,
other points you want to make, Michael, about Jeffrey
um,
Toobin? The best part is his name. He actually had a book come out recently, and I pointed over to Anna and I went, nah, he was jacking it on CNN. Like, how do you expect to continue your career when everybody knows that, right?
maybe he wrote a book on like masturbatory techniques or something.
What is the name of the book even? Jeffrey Toobin book. It is titled The Run for His Life. Wait, no, that was 1996. That was about OJ. The most OJ off. True Crimes and Misdemeanors, which could be another funny title. I think that's the most recent one. Either way, some of these write themselves.
He was
A Vast Conspiracy. Maybe this is a conspiracy against him.
maybe he was doing it, and his thought process was like, this would be great material for my next book.
You know, I would read that book. I'd listen to the audiobook because it'd be read by the author. And then he would have a
Yeah.
detailed analysis of what
Yeah.
happened in that meeting.
A presentation, if you will.
If anybody who was in that meeting is watching this episode from any off chance, right? Can you please email us at michaelandanthonyadventures@gmail.com? I need to get the inside scoop on what it was like.
Please. I want to know so bad. So bad.
So bad.
So bad.
Ooh.
Well, speaking of
spicy way to start the episode.
Horny, Anthony, why don't you tell them what we do here?
Oh yeah, we tell stories. Some people would say they're improv stories. Some people would say that they're slightly structured stories. Either way, Michael has a premise for me and a character for both of us, and we're gonna walk through this scenario and do a little role playing together. So not quite the solo act that we were just talking about. We'll be duking it out, dudes and bros style.
Dudes and
Bros and dudes.
Absolutely. And before we do kind of jump into the whole storytelling, aside from the Tubin, aside from Uranus, there's
Tubin. Is the Uranus bit going to be put in here?
It is now. Otherwise,
it is now. Now it has to.
We just got back like a week and a half almost 2 weeks ago,
Oh yeah.
from a little guy's trip, a little guy's weekend. The testosterone was flowing,
I
the
was
booze
so
was flowing,
skeptical of what was going to happen on this trip, Michael.
and it was just a lot of hot guys being dudes,
It was a bunch of hot guys being dudes and a lot of walking around in the dark in the nude.
which is what guys
Maybe.
do on a guys'
That
weekend.
is what
Sorry
guys
to
do.
sorry to spoil that one, fellas, but I just figured I'd throw one to the ladies. That's when your guy is going on a guy's weekend. He's just kind of walking around naked in the dark.
In the dark, in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Michael, tell everybody what you want to talk about with that. And then I
what I want
got
to
some
talk about with that
anecdotes.
is a few things. A lot of gaming, which was nice.
Gaming was
Uh,
cool. Gaming was fun.
yeah.
Hot tubbing was
Uh,
fun.
Hot
I
tubbing was
felt like
fun.
we should have started a Twitch stream, a hot tub live. Why didn't we do a hot tub live stream?
That's fuck.
That would have been
awesome.
on Twitch. Like they usually have like the mostly nude women, like in the bikinis and like
We would
some
get
chads.
way more views than that.
We would get way more
We're
views
so
because
much more interesting than that.
oh yeah, we sat in the freezing cold in the hot tub and that was epic. It was so cold that I used a towel to cover part of my head and it froze to my hair a little bit.
It was chilly. It was
It was
chilly to
a
say
little
the
chilly.
least. But we did a little bit of gaming too. We did a lot of cooking. We ate some
Hmm.
great food. It was just great meal after great meal after great meal. Um, we also played a little game
Oh yeah.
that I sort of, got the foundation of, and then we made some tweaks, and it was a collaborative effort to kind of fine tune it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
it's called Serial Killer.
oh yeah. That's cool. Are you throwing in some special effects sounds?
Yeah, we'll throw in some special effects, some little things going on in there. Basically, the gist of the game is the killer. Everybody goes into one room, shuts the
One
door,
room.
they're sectioned off. The killer
Mm.
takes that time, goes around the house, hides a weapon and a couple of clues to find that weapon for the other people, the victims, will say. The victims are in there. And then once everything is hidden and ready, all the lights in the house go off. The killer hides away, screams as if somebody had just died, and the victims come out to investigate the scream. And the victims have X amount of time before the killer starts coming out and can start killing people. So totally in the dark, you want to hide, you want to run, you want to avoid getting killed, and the killer is going around and he's trying to take you out one by one. But if the victims find the weapon, they can use it to take out the killer.
You know what I just thought about as of right now? Because that
What's
game
that?
was phenomenal. It was awesome. I think the only other change we could make to, buff the victims, because the victims would go down left and right
Yeah.
sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I think the only way we could buff and the victims and nerf, the this murderer, right? Or the serial killer.
Right.
What if the serial killer grabbed the body, like they murder the person, but then they walk them back to the space and they wait like 30 seconds to come out again? That could have been a good
Oh.
thing. And if I wasn't absolutely hammered every single night there, I could have told you that idea. But I was
That's a good
so
idea.
gone the
You
entire
were,
weekend.
yeah. The drinks were flowing.
Yeah,
Everybody started morning drinking, and you just kept drinking.
everyone started because I started. I walked in when we checked in at 3, and by 3:10, I already had a drink in my hand. I was like, "Yep, we're rolling."
Oh, it
Um,
was a good time.
Nobody wanted to share the Kirkland bottle of vodka I brought, like this giant thing,
Oh,
and so I was like, you know what? I mean, I'm not gonna bring this whole thing home. I might as well just drink it. So yeah. I think Damon helped me a little bit, but I'm pretty sure
sure.
80% of that bottle was me over the 2 days.
Yeah, there were
I
8 of us.
I weighed myself afterwards. After everything had settled, like a day after the trip, I weighed myself because you're supposed to let your body metab. I put on 3 pounds from just
We
drinking and
yeah,
eating.
We all
I went straight to the gym. Every single day I've been to the gym since that trip, the past week and a half, almost 2 weeks now.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good time though. It was
It was
nice to get
great. It was
away. It
awesome.
was super fun. Yeah, had some awesome times gaming and
Oh yeah.
studying and doing all that kind
Mhm.
of shit. So it was a
That
good
was
time.
epic.
So to
That was
anybody out
solid.
there, anyone out there who's on the fence, have a guys' weekend.
I got kicked in the head on the guys' weekend.
You got kicked in the head.
That was fun. I lost a piercing. I still haven't replaced it yet. I need to do that ASAP, or else I'll have to they might have to re-pierce it at this point because I put it off for like a week and a half. But
You lost a piercing. Damon totally ate shit on the ice.
oh my god, I hope Damon's back is okay. He's
Yeah,
gonna feel that when he's 40.
Bruised and bloody. Yeah.
He just jumped on a frozen lake, just
And just
blindly.
like a cartoon character, literally feet in the air.
Fucking did a flip.
Yeah, just ate shit right on
Dude,
the ice.
I hope he's okay.
He's fine.
I'm sure he's alive, and that's all that matters.
I've seen Damon go through worse.
All I can picture is if he got knocked out, us having to get on the ice and carry him
And
off
there was like
the
a
ice.
2-foot gap.
There was a 2-foot
the
gap, which
water
is why
and the
he
ice,
jumped.
So we would have had to try to navigate the gap. Be like, well, I don't want to get wet.
God.
Well, Anthony, speaking of, since we're talking about it, guys' weekends. And I'm not suggesting people should go on a guys' weekend. I feel like, honestly, it's kind of a crime if you don't. And, you know, speaking of crime, that reminds me of a little story that I have for you today.
Oh, wait, we tell stories on this show?
We tell stories, and I've got a great one for your ass.
Okay, hit me.
So, while we're preparing things and while we're getting everything set up, I know everybody listening is just sitting in their chair, twirling at their hair, living without a care, except for when they're there. And by there, I mean that spot of pure rage and frustration as they are building up the energy to yell,
Tell me a story.
And we're ready to tell a story.
Oh,
Anthony, are you ready? Nice.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, your character, your
Yes.
name is Robin Steele.
Ooh, rob some steel. Is that what I'm doing?
Robin's like Rob and Steele.
Oh, Robin
Steele.
Steele.
You are the defendant in an upcoming court case.
Okay.
You've been accused of masterminding a solo heist where
you say masturbating.
Masturbating.
Accused of masturbating. I was like, damn, Jeffrey Tubin was so relevant.
So on the nose.
Okay, let's try bullet point number 3 one more time.
Okay. You've been accused of masterminding a solo heist where you tried to steal puppets from the popular children's show Puppet Pandemonium.
Okay.
You are a generally pleasant guy who believes honesty is the best policy. So you're honest, nice
Okay.
guy, but you're on trial for stealing some puppets.
Okay.
Now let's talk about my character. Maxwell Lawman.
Maxwell Lawman.
I'm Robin's lawyer who is trying to keep your honesty in check so we can win this thing.
Okay.
And the scene that we are in, it's a meeting between Robin and Maxwell. We're going over the key evidence in the case so we can prepare our defense.
Okay.
Do you understand? Robin Steele, you're ready?
I got it. I got it right here.
Perfect. And I know that you're just itching and bitching and you're saying, Michael,
tell me a story.
So let's tell him a story. So we set the scene. We are in the meeting room.
Mm.
And we're getting ready to go over some evidence here in your case. And you just showed up. Robin, oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
so happy that you're here. Hey, thank you so much for meeting me. This is not looking awesome. So we're really gonna crack down. We're gonna look at we've got 3 pieces of evidence here we really need to dig into.
Yeah, for sure. I just really want to get this thing squared away because the birth of my kid's coming up, and I want to make sure I can see him before
Yeah.
that happens.
Oh my God.
But even more importantly, I just don't want to be framed for something I didn't do.
Okay. So you definitely, you're telling me right now you didn't do it.
Honesty is the best policy, and I feel like between you and me, since we do have this privilege, I can tell you very certainly. I don't know if I can say this in front of a jury off the bat, but I certainly did not do this at all. I have an alibi. I have receipts. I have
Good.
all sorts of things that timestamp where I was during that time. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that's so good to hear because the evidence they have is pretty damning. So I'm really hoping that we're able to really nail down our defense and be ready for anything that they throw at us, especially since you seem so prepared. You've got your alibis, you've got your receipts. We should be good. What was you good?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm just nervous to see what they have, because I mean, if it makes me look like I'm in a bad light, I mean, that doesn't matter if I did it or didn't do it. It matters whether or not the jury thinks I did or didn't, you know?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So essentially what I'm going to do here, Robin, if we want to take a look. So we've got your case file here. We're going to pull up a piece of evidence. I'm just going to have you kind of explain what's going on with this evidence here, and then we'll go back and forth and try to make sure that we're on the same page and what we've got is tight, no contradictions. I really want you to be able to see your child and make sure to make it through.
Well, I mean, for what I pay you, it's gonna happen. So yeah, let's just dive in, I guess.
We can talk about payment a bit later.
Well, what I'm going to pay you, I guess I should say. So
right,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So first piece of evidence that we have here, I wanted to start with kind of a big one, just so if we can get this one squared away, I feel like we're good with the rest of them. So right here, we actually have CCTV footage of you in the Puppet Pandemonium parking garage the night that the puppets were stolen. And can you clarify that is you in
that is me. Well, I've been a big fan for years and years and years. I don't think that camera timestamp is correct, because I was actually there a week before it said that happened on this camera footage. So you could check to see if that's doctored. But that is me. I'm a huge fan. And yeah, I really just wanted to get a picture with the puppets and get them autographed by the actors who play those puppets, because not only am I a huge fan, but my kid is going to be a huge fan, and I'm just prepping for their birth, because I don't want their first image of the world to be the scary hospital room, or even their mother. I want them to see Puppet Pandemonium.
Puppet Pandemonium. Okay.
Yeah.
And I totally believe you. I'm on your side. So what I'm
yeah. Well, honesty is to me what. Let's see. Hot dogs is to pigs. It's part of it. Or it's the entire thing.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think I follow you.
Yeah.
But look, I'm just trying to win this thing. Honesty or not, we're just trying to get you out on top.
Well, honestly, I'm being honest here, so.
Sure. And yep, absolutely. So I'm gonna pull just a few holes, or throw a little curveballs, see kind of how. Just because I feel like if they do that to us, we need to be prepared. Okay.
Sure.
So first thing here, you mentioned the timestamp could be doctored with. It is pretty state of the art tech that we're working with here. So let's say they don't buy that. Let's say that they don't, like, no, this is exactly what it is. I mean, how are we, were you there that night?
I was there a week before they're saying I was there.
Okay.
I know that certainly I was there a week before this time frame, but that is a picture of me. Clearly, that is clearly me. But who's to say that this didn't get corrupted or overwritten, right? And if they don't believe that, then they don't believe that. But I'm being honest here, and I'm going to tell them I'm honestly not buying that. You know, no.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then it does on the stamp. So the date, is doctored. We'll say,
Sure.
or some kind of it's incorrect. The
Mhm.
time, however, it looks like it's between 11:30 p.m. Generally, there's nobody in the building aside from maybe the janitor or something at that time.
Sure.
Is the time? Are you thinking that's also doctored? Because there doesn't look to be a lot of people in that parking lot.
I thought it'd be a lot easier to chat with the actors one on one if there wasn't a crowd. You know what I mean? Let's be honest here. If there's a huge crowd and then there's little old me, do I really stand out compared to them?
Okay, so okay, okay. Did you meet the actors there?
No, I did not meet the actors there.
Okay,
They actually left. They must have gone home at that point.
okay,
Hmm.
okay. And then did you just turn around and leave when you realized that they weren't there, or what happened after that?
Um, I left. I turned around and I left
Im- You just
immediately. I walked up.
immediately. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I left as quickly as I needed to. Honestly,
So I feel like you're being a little vague, and honesty is the best policy here.
honesty
And
is
like
the
I
best
said, I
policy.
believe you. I believe you. I just need to see. So you left. Did you? So let me walk this through and see if I'm incorrect. You pulled into the parking garage, right? Got out of your car, walked through towards the building like we can see in the footage here.
Hmm.
Realized doors are locked, nobody's here. Turn around, back to your car, took off. And I'm not missing any moments. That's exactly what happened.
That is what happened. Yeah,
Is that exactly what happened?
that is exactly the order of things that happened. Yes,
Okay.
in that particular order. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
the way I
Yep.
think we can spin this,
Sure. Well,
is
we don't need to spin it. I'm being honest here.
no, I understand that,
But
but
but spin it for me. Yeah.
sure. So we
Spin
go
it, Meister.
through. Okay. So you're a big fan of the show, like you mentioned.
Hmm. Yep.
Birth of your child's coming up, and we can definitely use that in there as well. So
Yep.
your
Hmm.
child's being born,
Hmm.
and you wanted to take the opportunity. You were in the area. You wanted to stop by and check and see, hey, is anybody here? This would be a good time for you to stop in if there is somebody. You don't have to fight a crowd. You don't have to whatever. It's just to see if there's an opportunity for you to get an autograph, something special for your kid. And you showed up. You realized that nobody was there, and so shrugged your shoulders, head back, took off, and that was the
Uh,
end of it.
that's exactly. Yep. Yep. That's
Okay.
exactly. I mean, that's exactly what I said. But yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yep.
Okay, and then just the camera must have malfunctioned because the time is incorrect. You were there. Do you have any kind of proof that you weren't there at the time of the um of the
I no more than you have proof that you weren't in the president's bathroom when he just left last week. You know what I mean?
okay.
Like, do you have proof that you weren't in the president's bathroom last week after he left?
No, you said you had receipts. Is there
Oh
any?
yeah, yeah. I do have receipts. Yeah, I have my subway receipt from earlier that day. I handed over to you.
Well, that isn't the most helpful.
Well, it just proved that I had
That you
eaten.
ate that day.
Hmm.
So you
And
were well nourished.
yes. Well,
Okay.
usually, okay, so here's the situation. If you look at this video right here, right, you can see I'm walking normally, right?
Yep.
Normally, after I eat a Subway sandwich, and what sandwich does that say right there?
Pizza sub.
Yeah. When I eat a pizza sub, I have a particular walk because, like when you eat a big sub, you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
See, that video, I have that particular walk, as you can kind of see this way a little bit.
So
No. Sorry. Let me rephrase. I don't have that particular walk in that particular frame.
okay.
Can't you see? Yeah, I was getting my story straight here, but it's not because I don't have the story straight in my head. It's because you keep putting these false facts in my head, and
I'm
it's messing with my honesty.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to give you what they're going to give us so that we're
So
ready
as you can
for
see in this
anything.
video, I'm walking normally,
Yes.
right?
Okay. So you're walking normal. Don't have.
But on the
Subway and
date
stuff.
that the theft happened, I had that Subway receipt, and I wouldn't have walked as straight as I was walking in this video
Okay.
because I would have been
Okay.
walking with a little bit of a waddle because I'm so engorged. So
So
yeah,
I think that can be enough to get us through that. Okay.
great. Yep.
Okay, so pretty good on that one. I want to bring up the next piece of evidence here.
Sure.
They had to be thorough in their search of your house when going through this. So I apologize. I know this is pretty personal, but we did find your journal.
Wait, you went through my journal?
I didn't go through your journal. The investigators went through your journal.
Okay, fine.
Okay. I not up to me. I don't get to make those
Okay,
decisions,
yeah,
but I do
yeah,
want to address
sure.
what we found because there was a entry dated on the date that the puppets were stolen. And
They didn't see.
It said today is the day for the big puppet heist. Big puppet heist is in all capital letters. And then I do think actually there's a little footnote on the back side of that page that says nothing like a little Subway before a big puppet heist. So again, like, I believe you. I'm on your side here.
Yeah.
The story's making sense. I'm totally following, but how are we going to explain away that you have a journal entry talking about the heist on the day that the robbery happened?
Well, I really wish I didn't have to go into this because I didn't think anybody would be reading my journal.
Sure.
But can I be honest with you here?
Please.
I hope they didn't photocopy it, but they probably saw some of my erotica. And
okay.
So as you can see clearly, the Subway footnote.
Yeah.
That would mean that I was talking about this heist with the Subway footnote. I was writing my final chapters of my erotic novel about the puppets on this day in the Subway.
Okay.
And I really hate that you're laughing about it, but
I'm not laughing.
It's something that I am proud of. Okay, I'm not going to say I'm not proud of it.
You have every right to be proud of this.
I'm very proud of my work here.
It's good to be.
It's good. You did read it.
I didn't read it.
What did you think about the conclusion? I thought it was a bit too wordy, but
it was a bit rushed. I felt like you were just kind of padding.
Got it. I'll work on that, but it's still in the development phase right now, so you weren't supposed to see it at this point. But
again, I'm just trying to tackle the evidence so that.
Yep. So on the Subway day, and then the big finisher for the heist, in air quotes, I'm sure you can put that together of what that might have been.
Yeah.
It wasn't on a Zoom call with my colleagues, I'll tell you that. But
so okay.
Next question, please.
Okay, so okay, let's kind of run through the whole just so that so they bring it up, and we just say, look, my defendant here has dabbles in some erotica, and
I wouldn't say some. It's more than that. If we want to be honest with them, we should paint them the full picture. I
okay,
have 14 volumes written.
dabbles in a healthy amount of erotica as an
18
author.
copies sold worldwide.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And being a fan of Puppet Pandemonium, felt inspired to write this story. Also, being a fan of Subway, as we could even clearly see on the receipt there, that the two worlds just coincided. It's absolutely a coincidence because he was just writing puppet themed erotica.
It really
then,
doesn't paint me in a good light, but yeah, I do have
and,
to say that. Yeah, you keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I know it's still in development. Can you kind of just run through a little bit of the story so that if they ask any questions, we're able to just say, nope, this kind of able to provide some backup evidence to deny this being evidence.
Yeah, so the overarching story has a lot of themes.
Sure.
It's kind of an allegory about modern day how do I say like modern day nipple twistiness in the industry, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So the storyline is Birdie, one of the main puppet pals, or puppet pandemonium pals, as you're probably familiar with. Without going into too much explicit detail, it's the character's name is Robert, and he enters into the space, and it starts as like a bit of a voyeurism kind of thing, right? Like I'm acknowledging that Birdie is doing her thing, but then they develop a relationship, and some people say it's fan fiction. It's not fan fiction. That's degrading to the genre of realistic fiction, and I can say realistic fiction because, well, anyways, I moving on. It's more so just you get the picture. It concludes with them driving off into the sunset
Sure.
towards Las Vegas, where the pandemonium really goes to the next level because they're not supposed to talk about what happens in Vegas. So that's where volume 15 comes in.
Okay.
But I'm not expecting the jury to have read the previous 13 volumes, so I don't know how the context of this would really make sense. And if they try to argue against it, that should be part of the evidence, is reading all 13 volumes beforehand. And they all have to own their own copy so they can be, private when they're reading them,
Right.
So,
And you know what? I absolutely agree. And big puppet heist. Today is the day for the big puppet heist or something like that. And I feel like, we could say it's less so a heist of a puppet and it's more so a heist of the heart. This Robert character is sort of stealing the heart of Bernie in a way.
The reason why I didn't want to really talk about this and bring it up is because I am still working on the trademark on the book title Big Puppet Heist.
Sure.
So I didn't want the copyright to be infringed upon because I don't technically have the copyright for it yet. So that's kind of what's going on here. But
got it. Okay.
And I'm sure they'll understand. I'm being just so forward and honest here. I don't know how they couldn't believe what I'm saying. I couldn't even make this up if I tried. So
no, and okay, so we go through and so they bring it up, explain the journal and everything. My defendant here, he writes puppet erotica. He's fairly successful and has a healthy amount.
Can you change that to very successful?
Very
just
successful.
So we paint the full. Yep.
Yep. Very successful puppet erotica writer, author, and this is the newest installment in his series of puppet erotica. It's still in development, and so that's why it was sort of hidden away.
Yep.
Okay. I think we got that one. I think we nailed that one down. So the last piece
Awesome.
of evidence here, it's a tough one. So we're gonna have to figure this one out because it's a little tricky. But they did find the puppets that were stolen in your home. So they they found these. This is a picture of them in your closet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, I mean, kind of, I guess, what's going on with that? What's the situation?
Yeah. Which address was this at?
The it's the address that we have on file here. It's
Yeah. Let me take a look here.
23.
Oh, the 23 address.
Yeah.
That's my workshop. That's my workshop home. Like I said, I'm
Okay.
very successful. I have two homes. I have my primary residence, which is where my wife and my soon-to-be child will be staying.
Yes.
And that location I don't want to disclose to the public because I don't want to be doxxed.
Sure.
But
As a very
it's
successful author.
a
Yep.
very big house and it's filled with lots of things. It's got separate rooms for just about any activity you could think of. This, however, is my workshop where I am developing life-sized models of the puppets used on the show for people who read my erotic fiction, realistic fiction. And the reason why I say realistic fiction is because once it gets a bigger following, they can make this fiction realistic to them. Are you understanding kind of what I'm saying here? I deliver these puppets via
Yep.
mail, and then people who read and are inspired by my work, they're inspired to order realistic replicas of these puppets.
And then they can use the puppets to kind
And
of
then,
follow along in the story.
yes. I mean, if we want to be honest here, you could use the puppets to fuck, right? Just painting that point blank up front for all of them. But yeah, you can use whatever
Okay.
verbiage you want, but make sure you explicitly say that bit so they understand the intention of these puppets.
Okay.
And these are
Okay.
models, these are replica models here.
So not these absolutely, you're saying right now these are not the ones from, these are not the puppets
No,
from Puppet
but if
Pandemonium.
if Puppet Pandemonium really wants these puppets back, they'll have to order
I
them
don't
from
know if
me.
they will.
Well,
I don't know if they will.
if
I'll
they
be
want,
honest
they can
with
order
you.
these, they can special order these from me, essentially.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so they bring up the puppets, and my client, that the where these were found was not his primary residence. It was his workshop where he's building public puppet replicas in order to as sort of a
Assist.
merchandise.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is merchandise. It's not even of
It's a
sorts.
merchandise.
It
Yeah.
is a
So
merchandise. Yep.
as merchandise to go along with the erotic novels, with the realistic
Hmm.
fiction, um, in order to make the fiction more realistic.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
these puppets are unrelated to the puppets that were
Well, they're
stolen.
inspired, but they're
They're
not
inspired,
the
correct,
yes,
but
but yes,
as
yes, but they're
in they're
not
not the
identical.
same puppets.
Not
Okay.
the same puppet.
These
And
were created by my defendant.
and you can kind of tell by the splotches, the faint white splotches on them that it's not. I mean, that's just the craftsmanship. I'm trying to get it up there essentially, but they're not
Yes.
the exact ones. That's excess glue from because these are
Okay.
prototypes, as you
Sure.
can see right there.
Okay.
Like specifically where the tongue should be. It's messed up right there.
Sure. Okay. Um. Yes. Okay.
Great. I think we have everything. Unless there's anything else. I
Um.
mean, it's you believe me, right?
I believe you.
Good.
Okay, so we're gonna. Okay, so the CCTV footage, the camera malfunctioned. That footage is from a week prior to it. You went
Yep.
because you're a fan. You were hoping to
Mm-hmm.
catch somebody at a time where they would maybe be more available. You found out it was vacated and
Yep.
not open, and so you turned
Mm-hmm.
around and left. And a big reason for that is you have the subway receipt to prove that you're not bloated like you would be if that took place on the day that the heist took place. The journal entry is in reference, not in reference, but it is a developing story, a developing entry in your realistic erotica puppet series, and so was sort of caught out of context. The evidence being brought forth is out of context, and in
Yep.
order to actually include that as evidence, the jury and everybody involved would need to familiarize themselves with the rest of the series to understand those worlds colliding and understanding that it is a total coincidence. And then the puppets here were not the puppets from Puppet Pandemonium. They are manufactured by you to be used as merchandise to go along with your puppet erotica.
I don't think I can be any more candid than that.
Okay, let's I think we're
painting the whole picture is not easy, but it's easier if you're honest with everyone. So I figure, yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's really the big evidence that they've got against you, and I feel like with
you call that big evidence? I say we got this easy. Once they hear my interrogation, once they hear me on the stand, I'm pretty sure they'll be convinced.
Okay, I mean the court case, the trial is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're solid, the story doesn't change. We understand it. We're on the same page here. We know.
I don't know how it could possibly change.
It's true.
Being super forward with you.
It's the truth. Okay.
And I'm not ashamed of it.
Maybe we don't talk about fucking puppets. In that,
I think that's critical to paint the picture. But you could use whatever word you want. But
okay,
it's critical they understand the intention of.
You perform coitus with these puppets.
The ones that I'm selling.
Yes.
They were prototypes. I had to make sure that they were satisfactory for manufacturing purposes. So, I mean, do with that what you will, but sure. I mean, I'm not selling these units. These units are mine for understanding the user's experience. Okay. I can't sell something I don't use myself.
And then just so we have kind of all of our bases covered, do you have the receipts for the materials used to make these puppets by chance?
I do not.
Do you know when about you made the puppets?
I made them after I wasn't able to make and my acquaintance with the actors last week.
Okay.
So I made them myself. I've been sewing and crafting for better part of my adult life. Okay. So it doesn't take me long to build things like this. Sure. I don't have the receipts because I'm not a registered business as of yet for this particular industry. So I didn't see a purpose in keeping the receipts. I could explain that to them. Maybe they'll understand.
Okay, let's get your bank records just so that shows the transactions in there, just so we have it covered and we're like, hey, here's where he bought the materials and everything, so that so that it's really airtight.
I need a bank account?
Did you use cash?
Yeah, I'm a cash only household. Why do you think I didn't have automatic billing through you? No, it's cash.
Yep. Okay. Well, with a hope and a prayer, we can get through this and you can see the birth of your child. So
I'm gonna see the birth of my child. Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks for meeting with me, Robin. Yep. I really hope. I think things should go well, and I think we're gonna be okay. So,
well, Maxwell, considering how much I'm paying you, if I don't, we're gonna have a bit of a problem. So
you haven't paid me yet.
What I'm going to pay you.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see how.
See you tomorrow.
So tomorrow happens. The trial takes place, and at the end of the day, the newspapers couldn't print it fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
Not guilty.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Maxwell, that is why I pay you what I'm going to pay you.
I can't believe we got away with this. And scene.
I don't know what we got away with because I built all those from scratch. I'm a hardworking American.
Oh my
Did you
god.
have did you have two options, or were you just banking on me not being guilty?
No, I just banked on you not being guilty. I
Oh my gosh.
even so what I had envisioned too when I put it
Yeah, tell
together
me what
was,
you were picturing, because this could have gone south real quick. What were you
well, what I was
picturing here?
picturing was that you were like, "Oh yeah, that's me walking to steal the puppets." And I'd be like, "Okay, how are we going to spin this?" And so
Oh,
at
so
the
you
end
were
it's
gonna
like,
do the work.
so it's like I can't fucking believe that this worked. But
Well,
instead it went in a, I love where it went. I absolutely love where it went.
I
Puppet
so
erotica was not something I thought I'd be discussing today.
I think Jeffrey Toobin inspired this whole episode
He
here.
really did. And the
So
really
yeah.
funny, go
Wait,
ahead, go
what?
ahead.
Yeah, you go, you
Oh,
go.
I was gonna say the really funny thing when I was coming up with the premise, I was like, I feel like we've had some like really sexual moments in the last few episodes. I'm gonna do something not sexual,
At
and it
all.
immediately turned right into there, which I'm very happy with where we got because puppet erotica is amazing.
So, do you think that Robin Steele did it or not? In the
It's
same way that do
very
you
hard
think
to
OJ
actually,
did it or not?
yeah, it's kind of hard to say because he's very honest, but also he's very vague about some
He's
things.
so
I
honest.
think he's guilty of far worse crimes than stealing puppets. I think what he's done with his other
These
things
puppets is
is
more
much worse.
criminal than
Yeah.
stealing. I like the idea of having a full jury trial for essentially what is a children's toy. Like
Yeah.
it is a prop in a show. If someone stole Elmo, do
Nice
you think they'd go on trial?
I don't
Elmo
know.
probably, but like what if they stole Bert? Do
But
you think they care about Bert?
how many Elmos do you think they have though? Do you think they have like
Oh,
70
they've got to
Elmos?
have
I'm sure
dozens
they
of
have a
Elmos
ton of
because
Elmos.
I
Yeah.
mean, if they didn't, Elmo would get dirty over
Yeah,
time,
just wear
right?
and tear. They probably just
Yeah.
toss it and grab a new one.
Yeah, I don't know. Who is the least likely Muppet to be stolen, do you think?
Hmm. I would say
Like, if a Muppet
the
got stolen,
the scientist one, I think. That has like
scientist
short
one.
one.
I don't think I know who you're talking about.
Let me
Huh.
pull it up since we're
Yeah,
sharing
yeah,
it.
share it. Yeah, share that screen. Who are you talking? Also, those three puppets were so funny because I was picturing like Five Nights at Freddy's puppets.
This
I was not
guy.
expecting. Oh, that guy. Yeah, I wouldn't steal him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't steal him.
This one maybe.
You should Google
Maybe we could.
worst Muppet, and see what pops up.
The five
Five
worst
worst
Muppets. What do we
Muppets.
got?
What? Okay. Oh, hold on. Beverly Plume. Okay. I don't know who that is. Looks like a turkey. Ghost of
That's the scariest thing I've
Oh,
ever seen in my life.
that is so uncanny.
I
For our
hate
audio
that. I
listeners,
don't want to look at that.
picture like picture the
I hate
ring
that.
if the ring had an AI like Snapchat filter over its face to make it cute.
I'm gonna throw up a video. Or I'm gonna throw up a
I'm
picture
just gonna throw up.
I'm just gonna throw up. I'm gonna pop up a picture of it on the YouTube version. So if you want to see
Yes.
this
Oh yeah, you have to put pictures.
terrifying thing
Chip
I
the
just saw,
IT guy.
Chip the
Chip the IT guy is how I
IT.
pictured fucking Tektron from last week. Timmy
Yes,
Tektron.
yes. Uh, Miss Mousy. What?
What? She's cute.
Yeah, Miss Mousie's okay.
Miss Mousie's a
Oh my
Oh my
god.
gosh. No, thank you. Who
The
approved that
baby.
design?
Those are the five worst.
I think three of those five are terrible. I thought they were just gonna be like boring, like Miss Plume, like the chicken or turkey or whatever. I thought that was gonna be
Yeah,
like just boring stuff. No, those are horrifying
those were
looking.
the scariest things I've ever seen, actually.
So yeah. Well, Michael, what was your favorite part of this episode?
Oh, my favorite part was when you started talking about puppet erotica. I didn't see that turn coming at all. So that tickled
The
me.
Big Heist is the name of his 14th erotic book. About
I couldn't hold back the giggles at all when you started talking about it, because
my
I didn't see that curveball coming.
I think the fact that you included the subway at the bottom, you're like, oh no, subway goes great with heists or whatever you
Puppet
said.
heist, yeah.
I really just had to pause and think, how do I spin this?
Yeah,
Because it's
I
no
did.
longer, I wasn't, no, I was at Subway eating a pizza sub and writing this book.
I could see the wheels turning, but I knew you'd get there. And I love that too, because I'm like, you're really thinking like, how can I do that? And I appreciate
I
that.
was being honest. I'm not spinning anything. I
No,
was
not
just
at
being
all.
straightforward.
You're just trying
Straightforward,
to
yeah.
recount the exact details of the
Oh
event.
yeah, well, I mean, I might keep a journal. I don't write everything in the
Right. No,
journal,
totally.
detective.
So,
Oh
what
yeah.
was your favorite part of it?
My favorite part, I think, was when you pulled up the three puppets found at my house, and I could no longer deny that I had these puppets, and having to say, I make these puppets for people to follow along in my book. They can recreate this.
It just
And then
the
the thought of having a voyeurism erotic novel of these puppets, and so you have to put it in a separate room and peek in on this puppet and use your imagination reading this book and then continuing is so gross
it's an
to think
absolute fever
about.
dream. It's
I really
terrible to
hope
think
all of
about.
our relatives watch this episode.
Oh my god, the worst thing. Well, last week we did have an erection, a
A
robot
robotic
podcast
erection.
erection.
Yeah, but that's funny.
That
But
is
the week
funny. This is
before was the VI Podcasts episode. Or no, it wasn't even just VI Podcasts, it was other peeps.
it
Were
was
they all VI
pals.
Podcasts? Yeah,
All of them were,
pals,
yeah.
pals.
They
Yeah,
all
yeah,
are
pals.
though.
But then
Yeah.
the week before, I think was the worst one for them to watch,
That
which is
was
cake
absolute.
sluts.
That was definitely.
Pastries, priests, and something else. I don't even know what the third P was, but
I
yeah.
don't, but it was, yeah, no.
Yeah, that was good.
Been on a hot streak, I think.
Oh
It's been
yeah. Oh
good. It's
yeah.
been good. Well, good, good, good. Anything you wanted to cover before we kind of GTFO in a way?
Well, not GTA FO because GTA doesn't come out until next year, but FF7, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth comes out
Hell
next
yeah.
week, and I am so fucking excited to play the game, but I'm so frustrated because I don't know if you've noticed with not just like that particular franchise, but a lot of big game studios are starting to give like I knew they always gave review games to like IGN and review things to like review sites or like big game
Yeah.
companies. Now every single person who labels themselves as like an influencer gets a fucking key or like a digital key or their own copy of the game a week before the game comes out or 2 weeks
Yeah.
before. The Final Fantasy VII, the Rebirth keys went on Monday, I think, this week. And it doesn't come out until next Thursday. Do you
Yeah.
know? But here's the thing, is these streamers, they're not reviewing them on their own time. They're streaming it and playing it. And then the community who's watching the stream are talking about it a week and a half before the game comes out. So why don't you just release it, either
Right.
release it when like the streamers do or like a day or two before maybe, but like there are people who have already finished the game, and I thank God I've avoided any spoilers, and I know how the
Yeah.
story goes on the original, but like they're going to be twisting and turning and all sorts of stuff. Can you imagine if they made a brand new Lord of the Rings game? It's supposed to be the entire trilogy. It's going to be epic. It's a remaster. They're going to change up some stuff. There's some extra lore, Michael.
Yeah.
And Biggly Wiggly 69 on Twitch got it 2 weeks before, and all of the new lore things got spoiled beforehand. You might be into it, but if you're looking forward to
No,
playing it,
that
you'd be
pisses
pissed
me off.
off.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sucks. Also, like the exclusivity of it all makes it more exciting to be
that's the
like,
thing.
because now, yeah, and it's just like fucking anybody can just get
Well, like
it.
anybody who has like 2,000 Twitch followers or whatever can play it on stream to promote it. But
Yeah.
like then they finish the whole campaign and then all 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 viewers see this whole thing and then they're talking on Reddit about it and they're not putting spoiler tags or like there are YouTube thumbnails that are like super spoilerish. So I had to just completely
Yeah.
wipe all Final Fantasy VII stuff from all of my feeds,
You know,
which is annoying because I want to
that
like
is
get hyped up for it, but now I'm not even like I'm hyped for the game. I'm not hyped to talk about the game because there are
sure.
gonna be people who have platinum the game by the time I get to it, which sucks
That
because I
makes
pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered it, dude, like 2 months ago.
damn.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my gripe, but the game
No,
looks phenomenal. I'm
that's a
excited, but
fully it does look fantastic. I've wanted to. I've never actually sat and played a Final Fantasy game before. Um, but they all look fun.
do you mind like do you have a weird thing against playing like old games, like the PS1 version of games or something like
Not at
that?
all. No.
No, you should play the OG because you could fly through it. They have you can go through the story and whatever, but they have on the remastered version, remastered, it's not remastered, but it's just the
Mhm.
HD version of polygons. But if you don't mind it, they have a 3 times mode. So like if you want to speed grind, for example, it makes it a lot more palatable, but you just need to go through the story, man. The story is
Sure.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, and that's what I've
Um,
heard.
yeah, Anna and I were getting close to finishing our OG campaign because she's never played through the game, and she's
Oh,
kind of playing it, but I'm more so playing it, and we're narrating in silly voices, which is fun. But she can't get over the polygon characters. So
oh,
like
sure.
in very dramatic scenes, it's super intense, and I'm just like, oh my God, look at this, and she's just like. They're like triangles and squares because it's like PS1 graphics,
Oh
think
yeah,
Lara Croft,
totally.
right? Yeah, so
Yeah, no,
anyways, yeah.
I don't mind the polygons at all. Oh shit, something just fell in my eye.
Oh damn.
But there we go.
Oh.
No, I don't mind the polygons. I mean, I love some of those really old games. Um, the PS2 is my favorite console of all time, but I do have a lot of nostalgia for the PS1,
Oh
and I
yeah.
played some N6 or some like Super Nintendo and shit. I don't care. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it's fun, and yeah, like it always looked like it was really rich with just story and lore and
It's so
characters,
good.
and
It's
so
such a
yeah, I
good
wanted
story
to.
game. So yeah.
Um, and yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
trailer looked awesome. But yeah, it's such a bummer that people honestly what they should do if they're gonna do something, which I kind of understand streamers are gonna get more eyes on the product once
Streamers
it's
are gonna stream.
released, but really give them like a demo. Don't give them the whole
Well, we
game.
have well, here's the thing. Oh yeah, give the streamers a demo.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just give them a
They released a
demo.
demo 2 weeks ago and I've been playing the demo, which has been fun.
Sure.
But so I got an idea of what the game's gonna look like, but it's more so story spoiler things are annoying because right.
I
But
mean,
that's my
yeah.
deal.
And I mean, if they just made a demo that didn't really have any spoiler, but really showcased the like the graphics, the gameplay, the feel of
Mm-hmm.
it, and didn't really
Yeah.
spoil any of the story, and then just gave that to everybody. Shit, I guess give it to the streamers a week early or something. But that way, like they can still get the eyes on the game
Oh yeah.
without ruining it for everyone.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's something
Yeah.
that game devs will have to figure out when I mean this whole influencer culture is still fairly new. Like we've always had
Sure.
influencers, but like the TikTok influencers, like people who can just kind of, fart in a mic and do stupid stuff and eventually get like 1 million followers. I mean,
Yeah.
that's fairly new in like the last 5, 7 years, but
Right.
they're figuring their shit out. But I'm
Well,
I'm just hoping that they fix this issue, right? But
yeah. Well, once we get our
anyway.
BZ or our M&A's Excellent Adventures video game going, we'll do it right.
We'll do it right.
We'll do it
We'll
right.
give it to the influencers 2 hours before the game drops.
That's right.
That's it.
That
That's
is
my
right.
promise to
That's
you.
all they get.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I think we're about at time, Michael.
I think so.
Yeah. So I do apologize for cutting things short because I'm
No,
having a phenomenal time.
me too.
But If you, listener, liked this episode, make sure to check us out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts. But even better, you should check out the visual aids on YouTube at M&A's Excellent Adventures. It's just our official YouTube page. It's got the logo. We have comment sections. You can interact with our community. It's going to be awesome and fun. And if you are so inclined, please smash that like button and click that subscribe button. You don't even need to follow us with the bell notification right now. We just want to get more people in this community because we want to know you too, or we want to be able to hang out and chat. And yeah, maybe we'll start a Discord or something. That'd be kind of fun, right? But that'd be kind of a good idea. But yeah. Ultimately, we just want to make sure that you enjoy what you're seeing. And if you don't, leave a comment. Email us at michaelandanthonyadventures@gmail.com. But also, we just want to have more fun. And more fun comes with you. So thanks so much for listening, everybody. Anything else, Mike, before we call it?
Speaking of a Discord, that would be really cool. Obviously, we get enough of these subscribers, we build this little community. We could have a Discord channel specifically for story premise pitches, and we
Ooh.
could kind of talk through and find some fun premises and different ways that we can have fun with the show in there. So, we want to interact, we want to engage, and we want to make you a part of the story.
Ooh, I like that. With that being said, Michael, everybody, have a great night. Bye-bye.
Kisses.